So this is about ALBIR and a place to live. You know, another one of my series of where to live in Spain, especially on the Costa Blanca North. And where is ALBIR? That's the first question, in case you don't know. And it's just outside Benidorm. It's not very far from Benidorm at all. And I think that's why people would like to possibly move there. There's a lot of Dutch live in ALBIR. Brits obviously there as well. Belgians, I know quite a few. So it's a mixture of people that live there. And so, you know, you're going to be in good company wherever you're from, really. And if you speak English, I think it's a very strong English-speaking area, because obviously the Dutch speak English anyway as their second language. And so, yeah, it's a good place to live. And as I say, if you do like Benidorm, it's not very far to come. So this has been recorded on Saturday, the 17th of February. And I'm in my office stroke bedroom, or spare bedroom, doing this, which is where I work from if I do these sorts of videos. And I'm going to give you lots of information about house prices, schools, etc., etc. So hopefully a lot of this information you're going to need if you want to move over here, especially to come to ALBIR. So we'll crack on with it. So you're going to see me looking at my notes, because I don't want to get any details wrong, because obviously this is an important subject. And whatever I tell you, you know, you have to check up for yourself, because I'm just like you. I'm a layman. You know, I find all my information out on Google, and obviously living here as well, I do obviously get information by living here. But please check. You know, I'm not anything legal, so just do your own homework. But the first part of what I'm going to be talking about is buying a property in ALBIR. Now, obviously, you have to be here to buy a property. You know, you need to look at it. You need to look at the location. You know, you need to be sure that it's where you want to be, because it's a decent size area, and you want to make sure you're happy where it is. And so, you know, what I've found on Google is a studio apartment, 96,000, has a pool. It's a 1 bed, 1 bath. It's got parking, and it's only 200 meters from the beach. Now, for 2 people, you know, studio apartment's fine. 1 person, obviously fine as well. So that's not a bad price, really. In fact, I think that's a good price. I've also found 1 bed, 2 bath, 103,000. 1 bed, 1 bath, 85,000. And also a 2 bed with a garage, 93,500. So, you know, quite good prices. Now, they reckon that the average price of a property in ALBIR, and they're talking houses, you know, fairly sizable houses with maybe, you know, 3 bedrooms, you're looking at 400,000 average price, which is, you know, that's out of a lot of people's league. And the 100,000, if you're first coming over here, is obviously an ideal price. So I think the first prices that I quoted are the better prices for someone who's just starting up and coming over here. So yeah, so that's the sort of property prices. To carry on from the property, you need to get registered, and you need to go to your local council. And I'll put all the information in the information box for contacts and that sort of thing. Any phone numbers I have, I'll put there as well. But I've talked about this in previous videos. It's called the Pangia. Now, the Pangia is something that the Valencian community government have put together. So all their parts of their community use the Pangia. And this is to help foreigners come into Spain and help them do all the paperwork. So if you want to, you know, you need to register on the Padron. That's very, very important. They've got a citizen portal, apparently. I don't know anything about it. This is all things that you need to find out. But obviously, it's good information. and they're obviously helping any foreigners that do come into the country, which I think is excellent. So these are the things that you need to do on your way to looking for a property. Obviously, opening a bank account is very important as well. So, you know, several things, several steps that you need to make before you go too far down the road of buying a property. Now, on my YouTube channel, you can find a lady on there called Julie, and she explained about buying a property and also selling a property. So those videos might be very worthwhile looking at as well, especially buying if you're coming over to buy. She's based in Javier, but it doesn't really matter. It's not that a million miles away, and all the systems run pretty much the same. So, you know, you can go on and look at that video to give you some ideas of buying your property and what you need to do. Very helpful, I think. Julie is a professional. She has her own company. She's the director of the company, and she's been doing it, I think it was 10 years, I think she said. Something like that, quite some years anyway. So check that video out as well. I think it could be quite useful. We're going to go on to schools next. Obviously, with schools, you've got state schools like most countries have. So you can register your children to go to a state school, which is not going to cost you anything at all. Or you can go the private route. Now, private route is good. Obviously, people get good education through the private sector, as we know as Brits. In England, people do, children do. If you can afford it, if you've put money away to do this, then obviously that's a good way of doing it. And what I've done is I've looked at some of the schools in the area, and there's a couple that three I've found: the Sierra Bernier School, the NorskeSkole, and there's an international college as well. Now, I've got phone numbers for two of these schools. Once again, you have to be here. You have to see where they're located. Are you going to be happy to drive them to school? Is there a school bus? So you don't have to drive them, and all they do is jump on a bus in the mornings. So it's all those sort of things that you need to check out. And I can't do that, but I could give you information so you can have a look and see if there's places that you do like, you know, because I know my daughter is sending my grandson to school in England, and they've been looking at schools. So even the government schools, they still do a very similar thing, and they've looked at 3 schools locally to their house. So yeah, you need to do that. So I'll give you the information, and then you crack on and find out which one you like. The next subject is going to be healthcare. So that's what we're going to talk about next. Before we go on to the healthcare, don't forget, if you like these sorts of videos, let me know. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate it if you did. It's totally free. All you need to do is put your email address in, and that is it. You don't have to do anything else. It's very simple, but it does help me to produce new videos. And obviously, when people are watching, that is obviously beneficial to me as well. So yeah, please subscribe and please watch the videos. That all helps me. Anyway, let's crack on with healthcare. Now, with healthcare, if you're not retired, then you've got to pay for private health insurance. Now, that can cost you, depending on how many people are in the family. But I know a lady that has healthcare here, and she tells me that she pays about 140 euros a month for healthcare, which is, you know, quite a lot of money. So if you've got a family, obviously they must do packages for healthcare. I've never had private healthcare. I've always been on the system and still am on the system. So, you know, it's just like being in England. And because I'm retired, because I'm 72, I benefit from the government in England paying for my healthcare here. It's called an S1 form. And once that form has been filled in and registered with England, the healthcare just gets paid It's just like, you know, someone else paying your bill, basically. So it's quite a simple operation. But you've got to be retired and over retirement age to obviously get that. So that's important. But otherwise, you know, healthcare, you need to talk to many of the companies over here, lots of them, talk to them about costs, etc. And that's the route you need to go. So that's sort of healthcare. The other things that we're looking at is living costs. Now, with living costs, I did a complete video on this a few months ago, breaking down electric, gas, SUMA, etc., etc. Now, that's worth a look at. So I'll put a link below for that as well in the information box, because there's no point me going through it again, because I've done a complete video on it. So that'll be worth looking at. That was only for me solo living here, but you can grasp, you know, what it's going to cost you if you've got two of you plus two children or one child. You can grasp what sort of money it's going to cost you. It's not rocket science. One of the things that has happened since January is they put EVA, which is VAT, up by 5% on electricity, because they were subsidising it. So electricity bills have gone up. But as a single person living in a 2-bedroom apartment, I'm only paying on average €40 a month for my insurance. For my electricity. So it's not mega expensive, and I think it's cheaper than a lot of other countries. So it's good value, I think, for what you get. So that's costs. You know, look at the video. The video will give you a really good idea of what it's going to cost you. The next section is leisure time. Now, we all want to have leisure time, don't we? And there's quite a few things to do. Okay, so we all like our leisure time. And I've got a few ideas for you. You're going to have your own ideas of what you want to do. Maybe water sports or whatever. But I've got a few things. On a Sunday, there's a market, and it's quite a decent sized market. That's in the middle of the town in the main car park, and that is only on Sundays, and it starts at 8, and I think it finishes at either 2 or 3, so it's on quite a long time. The natural park, the Gallardo Natural Park, is somewhere where you can get some great views and walks, so that's somewhere you can go. What about a hack on a horse? A lot of people like horse riding. A lot of people like horses. So that's something that maybe, you know, you want to do. And that's available for you. What about playing cricket? What about playing cricket? They've got a cricket club. They've got their own cricket club, very popular. And you could join the club. Even if you don't play cricket, I'm sure there's a social side as well. So definitely something worth looking at. Plenty of restaurants here, lots of restaurants all up and down. The main high street has lots of good restaurants, and also you've got some on the down on the coastline as well, on the beach. And you've got the ruins in the middle of ALBIR as well. I did show you those ruins. On a video recently, the last couple of months, I think that came out, and I did show you the ruins on that. But that's something you could have a look at as well. So yeah, I mean, there are lots of things that you can do. And as I said just now, you've got your own ideas. Maybe you want to go scuba diving, you know, or whatever you want to do as far as the water is concerned, because you can do anything you like. And so I hope that all sort of gives you an idea of you know, what it's like what you have to do to come and live here. It's not that difficult. It is more difficult now than when I did it. You know, before Brexit, it was a lot easier. And they made things a bit of a pain in the backside now to be able to come and live here or work here. And you do have to jump through a lot more hoops, which I know a lot of people are not prepared to do. But if you are really enthusiastic, then it's a great place to live. I've been here 15 years and I absolutely love it. I wouldn't want to go back to England to live. I really wouldn't. And, if you've got any questions, please put them down in the box, and I'll try and answer whatever I can and or steer you in the right direction if there's anything that I don't really know. And there's plenty that I don't really know. So, but, I could be of use by pointing you in the right direction. And don't forget, as I said, please subscribe. It helps the channel. And I've also got a coffee fund like everyone else on YouTube. So if you want to, send me some money for a coffee, not very much, of course, but if you want to do that, then I'd always be appreciative of anyone that buys me a coffee. Okay, anyway, that's the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Okay, bye, ciao.